Good evening, distinguished Wizards fans. I'm Sully,
I'm Raj.
and this is the Bullets to Wizards podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into some of the Wizards' later free agency additions, including Sadiq Bey and re-signing Anthony Gill, of course, our main man. And also, we'll discuss Tyus Jones off to the Phoenix Suns, which is kind of ironic once you look into the trades we did last year and how everything shaped out, but somehow Tyus Jones ended up in Phoenix. Kind of ironic. So yeah, we'll discuss all that and we'll take a little deep dive on what the Wizards depth chart and starting lineup would look like to start the season because it's kind of hard to predict because there's a lot of guys that could fit in a lot of positions. But before we get into this episode, let's say hi to our good friend, the Wizards Cat.
As you may have heard already, the Wizards signed forward Sadiq Bey to a 3-year, $20 million deal, including a $19 million guaranteed and $1 million in incentives. Bey, who started his NBA career with the Pistons and was traded to the Hawks, he averaged 13.7 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists in the 23-24 season. Before he tore his ACL in March. But due to the injury, the Hawks opted not to issue a qualifying offer for him, which made him an unrestricted free agent. So since we're in like a rebuilding phase, we decided to add him to the roster because he could be a little valuable future asset despite like his recovery period. But yeah, he becomes their 14th player on a guaranteed contract.
Key point with Bay is that he was cheap. 3 years, 20 million is insanely cheap in the modern NBA. And granted, injury concerns, yeah, especially in 3 years is a long time, but when you break it down, the annual value for that contract per year is not too bad. And if he just is somewhat close to, if he's at least like a 10 point per game scorer, I consider this signing a major success. Like that contract would be so easy to move at the trade deadline, which I think this should be the end goal. I like to see Bay play well, but ultimately he will be a trade piece. He's still relatively young. Don't get me wrong. So Bay right now is 25, so he could kind of fit in the current timeline, but I'm sure there's guys like Bilal and Keyshawn that they kind of want see more as the future of like the three spot. But yeah, 100% a fan. I haven't seen anyone that's not a fan. Like even like people who aren't Wizards fans said like on the Woj tweet after Bay got signed, they're like people were like rare W Wizards move or like whoa that cheap. So like they cooked the front office cooked with that one. We're definitely gonna have to wait a month or two to see, maybe even 3 months, to see Bay actually hit the floor. And I'm sure there's gonna be a couple weeks it's gonna take for him to actually get back into the swing of things. But it's a 3 year deal, and he has a history of being a solid scorer, okay-ish defender. Like he's definitely not sound on defense, but he's not atrocious necessarily either. And he can be a dynamic scorer. I want to. I'm going to look up his career. I believe his career high. He didn't he pop off for like some 30, 40.
I know he had some high scoring game. I
Yeah,
remember
at some
seeing it.
point. Yeah, so scoring potential is there, and especially on the Wizards, just anyone who could pop off on scoring that's not Kuzma or the erratic Jordan Poole is good to have. So all good thoughts there. Do you feel like he's a viable like way to plug in what Denny we lost with him? Like, do you
Nah,
think no?
I don't think so. To replace Danny's spot? Is that what you're saying?
Like now that Denny is gone, do you feel like the production of so are you familiar with like Moneyball strategy?
Nope.
Moneyball strategy is essentially when a team can't afford to keep a player, they lose a player, they give up a player. So sometimes it's too hard to replace a player with one player. So instead, you just get three players who could do combined. Their combined effort can be the same as their old player, if not better. Some examples like the Oakland Athletics back in the day did that, and the Tampa Bay Rays. These are all baseball examples. This is more of a baseball term, but I think it applies here. And okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't think Denny's a good enough player to justify calling it Moneyball strategy, but I think Bay and Keyshawn George combined, I kind of like more than Denny. I mean, look at Bay's history. In his sophomore season in Detroit, he averaged 16 points per game. That's solid. That's more like we freaked out over Denny averaging 14 per game last season, but part of that was huge point inflation from just the second half of the season from a horrible team just getting all the touches. So I think Bay's honestly been a good scorer for longer than Denny. Look at every season, like 16 points per game, 13.8, 14.8, 11.6, 13.7.
That's pretty solid.
He's
I
consistent.
guess.
Denny was not consistent until like a year ago. So, like I said, injury concerns ACL is very real, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a surgeon.
If he comes back the same as he was, that would be pretty insane. But I don't think
I mean,
he will come back.
I'm not a surgeon or nothing. Not a medical expert by any means. But in the recent history, players have come back from ACL injuries much better than the past. Like Kevin Durant came back from his ACL injury and was still a megastar. So back in the day, and there's still cases like John Wall. Yeah, he never came back the same. But more often than not, there are players who are coming back from the ACL injury really well. And I think for Sadiq that he's so young that your body does heal better when you're young. Like 25 is like when your metabolism peaks. So I don't know if that's justification for an ACL injury, but I have hopes that actually Bay will bounce back and be pretty close to the player he used to be. Now, how he fits in, that's interesting. We're going to discuss rotations, as we said in this episode, because there's a lot of people that could get minutes. Nobody's a real standout, like, oh, this is like of above and beyond. Like, obviously, if you're Kuzma and stuff, that will play 30 minutes per game, but just like all these 20-minute per game guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, person of like your Bilals, and once Bay comes back, Keyshawn George, like, how are you going to give all these guys 25 minutes per game? You really can't. There's not enough.
Yeah, it's gonna be some weird rotations.
So I don't know how they're going to do the rotations. I don't know if there's people are just going to get like shut out in less minutes than they deserve. It's going to be weird, especially for a team that isn't actually amazing. I think there's more potential in this team than we thought there'd be, but they're not going to be amazing. So how you divide minutes on a bad team with a lot of talent, I don't know. But before we go too deep into the rotations, I guess we could talk about Shamit getting cut if you want. Yeah, anything
I
to
mean,
say
what's
about
there to
him?
say about that? I mean, I don't. He was just here, low key. I mean, I guess veteran presence, sure, but other than that, he didn't really.
Couldn't play defense.
Yeah,
Did some
he could
cool
shoot the
dunk,
three sometimes.
cool
Super
dunks,
inconsistent though,
cool,
but
cool dunks, cool dunks.
oh yeah, cool dunks. And then he got dunked on by Aaron Gordon, but still, I don't know. It was just a random cut. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm glad. Great guys you mentioned, but I'm kind of glad he got cut just because our guards need minutes. Your Bilal. Even Bilal sometimes plays the two guard, which is what Shannon played. So there's minutes there that can be given to Bilal. Bub, Jordan, for what it's worth, is technically. I guess his ceiling is higher than Shamit. Yeah, I mean he is. His ceiling is higher than Shamit, so I'm glad that Shamit's not going to be taking up like Shamit took up like 15, 20 minutes. Honestly,
He
he should.
played really long.
It is a shame that nobody wanted to trade anything for him. And I guess all those rumors were like, oh, the Mavericks want him. Oh, all those rumors were fake. So I think part of it is also, I think teams were calling about Shamit, but ultimately, like, because the Mavericks, let's say, like, an ideal Shamit trade probably would have been like Hardaway for Shamit. And the Mavericks
Dude,
ended up getting,
I would be fine with that.
I'm not crazy about Hardaway, but that would have been,
That would have been pretty good.
I want to say good, but I'll say
Like,
interesting at least for
I would
trade
rather
value
have I
reasons.
would have Hardaway over Shamit.
Yeah, but the Mavs didn't do that trade in hindsight because they ended up getting Quitting Grimes for Hardaway, which I think that's actually
Oh yeah,
that was an insane fleet.
that's pretty good.
I like Quitting Grimes a lot. I think people's like I know he lost minutes in New York, but Tom, that's a stacked team. I don't blame them for losing minutes in New York. So Quitting Grimes is really good for Hardaway. So yeah, then once you get Quitting Grimes, it's like, well, I don't want. They're not going to want Shamit at that point, and Shamit's been cut for like 2 3 weeks. He still hasn't been signed, and I'm sure he'll find a home, but yeah, definitely no sad feelings with Shamit being cut right there, and we save. Even though we like obviously we probably save a couple million. Like we still owe him a little bit of money from his contract, but we save a couple million still, so that's always good to see. Especially because this team is closer to this luxury tax than I thought they were initially. They're gonna be because especially with Kuzma still here, so we actually don't have as much cap space as many people think we do. So money saved is good. Speaking of players that are taking a long time to sign somewhere, or at least took a while to sign somewhere before they did, Tyus Jones, Phoenix Sun. Will you miss Tyus?
Uh, I don't. He did his job. I would say he did his job. He had a career high or career best season, averaging 12 points, 7 assists, and shooting a career high 48% and whatever. But 14 mil, 14 mil salary. Like Fee is gone for 3 mil. So if he got paid less, sure, I would miss him. But with how much we were paying him and who we have now on the team, I'm fine with saying bye to Tyus.
I
Like
don't
he
think it's.
was we knew he wasn't gonna stay.
I mean, okay, his contract wasn't that bad, and like in the modern NBA, it's so crazy saying 14 mil isn't that much, and like the grand scheme of things with the world. But like 14 million for like a cringe starter NBA point guard isn't horrible. Like definitely, his contract has never bothered me. I definitely had issues with his style of play at times. Like I did notice he slowed the offense down more than I would like. He was really efficient, but yeah, shooting wise, 3 point shooting. There were some games where he would just score like only 2 or 4 points. I don't know why he did some games he just didn't shoot. It's probably by how this team was made of Kuzma and Poole, his shot chucking. That kind of makes sense, but yeah, Tyus kind of. I would like. I know. I think a lot of Wizards fans are like falsely, not falsely, but they're very nostalgic for like, seeing John Wall, even what Russell Westbrook put up numbers at the point guard spot. All these years of these Howell Netos and Monte Morris and Tyus Jones not being effective point guards, we're not used to it still. And yeah, I think it's just. I do want to see a little bit more than 12 points per game for a guy who started basically every game. 12 points per game was not enough. Like from the point, I would like to
Seven
see
assists is still pretty high, but
good assist numbers, but I think he needed to be more of a scoring threat to like get defenders to get off Kuzma and Poole and stuff like that. So I have no real problem with him leaving. I think this team is not. I don't think he wasn't that much of a difference maker. Like everyone's always so efficient. Oh, he's a winning basketball player. Look at him last year. The Grizzlies won when he started. Oh, that wasn't true. We won 15 games last year. So I don't think Tyus actually is that. I think he's a wonderful complementary piece in Phoenix. I think he fits actually really well. It's kind of interesting actually because now Booker he fits well because they do need a real point guard that isn't Booker or Beal. But now like they have a weird problem in Phoenix. Like some people are saying,
he was
LOL.
coming off the bench, bro. That's what's happening.
I don't. I think Tyus comes off. I
I think
don't
Tyus
know.
will start.
You think Tyus over Beal?
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, but imagine Beal off the bench though. Like if you look at it that way, having Beal come off the bench.
You can't pay a guy 250 mil to come
All
off.
right, well that's our fault. That's not their fault. That's
Okay.
our fault.
Oh,
But
actually, you know what? We're the Wizards, and
yeah,
We paid Jordan Poole 170 million to come off the bench.
exactly. Yeah, that's what it's the same logic here.
But yeah, looking back at last year's trades, because obviously we had the big trade with the Phoenix Suns where we sent Beal in exchange. We got Chris Paul, and who else did we get? We got someone else.
Someone who was it? It was
Shamit.
oh
So it's funny looking now. Shamit cut. We got nothing for Shamit, and then Chris Paul turned to Jordan Poole and Patrick Baldwin. And Brian Rollins. So those two,
right.
whatever. But like by the way, we still have Jordan Poole from the Beal trade. Okay, sure. But end up now that Tyus is in Phoenix, it's like okay, I guess we also gave them Tyus. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I still don't think Phoenix won that trade because I still think at Beal's current stage of his career, he's still not worth what he's making.
Still, yeah, he's not close.
But I do think it is kind of funny that Tyus ended up in Phoenix with Beal. I do think there's some irony to that. But then also, it is disappointing that we got nothing, no sign and trade for Tyus. So basically,
Yeah, I think that's like the first L by the front office. No,
definitely L because at least the Timberwolves four
they
second
tried
round
to
pick.
gamble. That's the thing.
They thought that they could get more than the 4 second round pick offer, or I honestly think they actually were planning on re-signing him until they decided they wanted Bub. I think Bub is, and also I think Brogdon. I don't think they really saw getting a Brogdon on their radar. That was just random Portland trying to throw salary at us for Denny. They weren't expecting that. So the additions of Brogdon and
Yeah,
Bub definitely forced. I think if those two never showed up, yeah, Tyus would still be re-signed on this roster. And his contract is actually a really good value now. And
yeah,
to
yeah,
an extent, it's like there's no space from this team at all. 100%. Like I don't know how he would out
yeah.
actually.
You can't
I would,
implement ties in this roster no more.
and I would be mad that he'd be taking minutes from Bub, but at the same time, it's kind of like for a veteran minimum, Tyus is kind of nice. And then also like I don't know, yeah. I don't think he would have signed for a minimum with us anyways. I think he said he liked DC. Like he said he legit liked DC, but
Like DC,
I think he just liked it because we're the only team that let him start. So that's
you
also
not start in Memphis?
no. He only started when Ja got suspended.
Oh yeah, John Jacobs. Right.
That was like 20 games. Otherwise, he's always been a bench guy for his career. But you know, at the end of the day, he did his job. He ended up being I always called him the slightly better Monte Morris. And that's really what he was. The slightly better Monte Morris. So may he have a better rest of his career than Monte is currently having. Monte is barely hanging on the league. So, uh, yeah. So those were the overall free agency moves. Oh,
AG.
oh, right. You can't forget about AG. Mom,
AG.
chemistry, backup.
Veteran presence, team appreciation, whatever, whatever. Locker guy, that's all he is.
I think AG. We sung AG's praises so many times this pod, but I'm still a firm believer in the importance of a locker room guy. That's why the Heat had Udonis Haslem for so long. That's why the Mavericks have Dwight Powell right now. He's a great locker room guy. Dwight Powell's on like a 4-year deal again. That's so long.
Yeah, that's insane.
He's been playing okay for Team Canada,
I know he's all right there.
but that's still goofy. That is, but I guess it's purely because he's a locker room guy. He's been there so long. That's what Gil is, and I'm like I said, I'm all about maximizing roster value, but at the same time, I think it's okay to have your 15th spot go to a guy that's just a good guy. I don't
Yeah, you
mind.
need a good guy. This team would actually blow up if AG was not there.
I legitimately think there'd be like way more fighting if AG was on
Yeah,
this team, and then
yeah.
also this team's not done trading people. Like as the All Star break, who knows? Maybe Jonas gets traded, or who knows? Maybe Brogdon gets traded. People are gonna come in and out so many more times, and it gets hard to find an identity. And I know like Winger Dawkins like, oh, we really want to find an identity for what the Wizards are. And I think part of that is you need to have some player continuity. And it's good to make roster moves, but I think it's good having a guy like Gil there. So like, like Bilal is not like, wow, I'm only been like this team for 2 years, but all my teammates are already different. But it's like, oh, Gil's still here. I'm still comfortable with him. It's good to have like that familiar face of stability. The guy that'll always make sure everyone gets along. The guy that'll make sure everyone eats team dinners together, all that, and like not in their hotel room or in the club or whatever. So it's good having a guy like Gil, and he's 100%. There's no way this guy does not become at least an assistant coach when he retires. There is no way.
Yeah, he can't. He can't leave the league, man. He has to stay here.
I mean, he's basically like these Dwight Powell, Haslam types. They're basically just an assistant coach that plays games sometimes. That's really what they are. But not surprised, like, I don't know, like Winger Dawkins, like, hey Gil, just become a coach already. That's what you are. I think Gil assistant coach would be great, honestly. And yeah, but also, I mean, him as a roster spot, like, just how he plays, he hustles. But you can say about like any
Yeah, I
15.
guess he's just like a somewhat reliable rotation player at the best.
He has one game every year where he scores like 15 points, and we're like, oh, that's cool, I
He
guess.
does what he does, but like he's better, being an assistant coach. I would say.
Yeah, but yeah, I really hope that legitimately like that he doesn't get cut during the preseason or anything. Like, I want to have a roster spot. Speaking of okay, this is another tangent that's vaguely Wizards related, not that related, but somewhat related. Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson
What
still
about him? Oh yeah. Oh,
he signed the Hornets, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he signed the
That's
Hornets.
whatever.
He's still finding spots in the league. I don't know
I
how
don't
he's
know.
done. I know he's a really good locker room guy too. Taj Gibson, otherwise known as the lunch pail or the hard hat. Um, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
that's actually too funny.
he's entering. He's about under like Udonis has some levels of this guy is still finding ways to be a good locker room guy and stay in the league. But Todd is not even because like Udonis is like Coach Spo's like right hand man or whatever. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But Todd's like I know Tom Thibodeau likes him a lot, but he'd even go to New York. What is Charlotte like?
Yeah, he went to Charlotte. That's
Like
funny.
like who in Charlotte was like we need Taj to like make Lamelo and Brandon Miller and Tijan Saloon get along. Taj will help. Taj
Maybe
will help.
he might. Maybe.
You know what? Taj's probably gonna get cut a few weeks in the season. You know who's gonna? You know who's
Taj is
gonna?
in the league, but Shamit isn't in the league. That's insane.
No, Taj will probably get cut at some point. But you know who's gonna sign him? The Knicks. He'll find a way to get back on the Knicks. There's
He
no
has
way
to end
Thibodeau.
his career with the Knicks.
He's in his career with Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Him and Thibodeau are a bond. I always will see Taj. His prime was on the Bulls, but those were the Thibodeau Bulls years, so it all really makes sense. But let's get back to Wizards talk. Starting lineup. Who the hell is starting? Let's fight. Let's start with center. Center.
Yes, I was about to say let's start with center and then get back to
The guards are going to get a bit complicated, but the center, it's Jonas. It has to
yeah,
be.
center's Giannis.
It
Oh,
has to be.
nice.
It makes sense, and I want him to be the starting center. Like as much as Sar could or should be a five, up for debate, but I don't know if at the very least Jonas should be the starting five. We do that enforcer this team has not had in years since I don't know. I don't want to. I want to. I kind of want to call Gafford an enforcer, but not really. I don't want to call the it games that Dwight Howard played in DC him being an enforcer. Maybe since like Martian Gortat was here, we haven't really had an enforcer since Gortat left. So it's good. It's good to see Jonas. I don't know if he's been a double double machine like for his whole career. I don't know if he's gonna necessarily be that at this stage, but I think he'll still be solid enough on defense. He'll probably still get 10 rebounds per game, and then probably 8 9 points per game is what I would guess from him at this point in his career. But still has got some stuff left in the tank, and is he's been a Wizards killer for a couple of years. I remember every time we would play the Grizzlies or Pelicans recently, his most recent teams, like Jonas would always drop like 25 and 15 on us every time he played us because yeah, Jonas can eat Gafford
I don't
alive.
know. Giannis say Gafford up. Pause. But
Yeah, he ate like
yeah,
like knee deep in the passenger seat, casual, like all that kind of stuff. So I wonder how many reviewers would get that reference.
goodness.
Comment down below if you like Chapel Road. But, yeah, Jonas is our starting five. Pretty easy. All right, it's already getting complicated. Let's get to who's starting at the four.
Kuzma.
It's either Kuz or Sar. I don't
Dude, I
see
don't. At the
if
start of the season, it'll be Kuz.
Sar has to start at some point, but
Yeah, Sar will start at some point, but the start of the season will be Kuz for sure.
I've
Unless
I really wanted to see like a mega size lineup with Kuz at the three, Sar at the four, Jonas at the five. I love a tall lineup. I love that old Gafford Porzingis lineup we used to run. I just love a tall lineup. I know the NBA is getting sorry, it's all about small ball, but I'm a sucker for 2 7-footers next to each other. That's kind of awesome.
that was fun
Having
to watch. Yeah,
having length is awesome, but after that summer league, I mean, he could still play his way through the preseason and show people up. But the way it's looking right now, I think Kuzma is the more likely starting four. I think that's pretty fair to say.
okay, yeah. Jonas and Kuz so far. That's solid.
Who's starting? It's still complicated. Who's starting at the three?
Hmm.
Let's go. Let's go over the
My
candidate.
gut wants to say Corey, but he's not starting.
It
But
could either be Corey, Bilal.
I want Bilal to start. I don't.
I think Keyshawn's too raw. That's not
No,
happening.
Keyshawn's not starting.
Sadiq, if he wasn't hurt,
If he wasn't hurt, Sadiq
I
was
would, I
start.
would, I would be happy to slot him there, but he's going to be hurt for a while, so I can't really consider him
Oh,
there.
look at Corey's still a possibility then.
Corey versus Bilal. That's
I
a
would
winner.
want. I want to see Bilal, but I don't think he'll start though.
Corey Kispert follows the same. We were talking about this like right before we started recording because I always like making fun of Corey in front of you before we record because you're wearing your new Wizards cherry blossom Corey jersey, which you bought for $30 off Fanatics because I guess they put all the cherry blossom jerseys in clearance. So that was a cool get right there. But I mentioned to Raj like looking at Corey's career, he has the same script every year. He starts on the bench every year, doesn't play that well off the bench, and then toward the trade deadline, he starts balling. He starts doing his little "look at me, I'm so good at cutting" thing, and he does all that. He gets into the starting lineup when everyone's like injured or traded, and then he balls out kind of emphasis on kind of, and then the season ends and he's playing 40 minutes per game, even though he started on the bench. And I feel like that might just
I think
happen.
that's only a last season thing, to be
That's like the
honest.
last 2 seasons. Even his rookie year was like
I don't
that
think
too.
that'll happen. That's definitely not going to happen anymore.
I think he's established enough now, but I don't know. Corey starts every season really. Can you agree with me that Corey starts that first like 10 games
Yeah,
really
no, he starts off interesting.
a lot of like 1 for 6 games but then he heats up. But
Mm.
I don't know. I kind of would rather have Bilal start. I think Corey is an. I really want Corey just to be an awesome 6 man. That's what I would love to see him do, but he's kind of more effective as a starter. I do admit. So, but
Hmm.
Bilal's ceiling theoretically is higher. I would go below at the 3, but I could understand Corey at the 3. I can understand
Corey to
it.
start off this season. Like we're saying with like a lot of these players, I think to start off the season, like Kuz will start, Corey will start, but then as we ease in, Bilal will get some starting opportunities. Same with Ksar. I think Jonas will still be the starting center for a while, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's still Bagley and all, but
Yeah, and just I guess in the backup rotation, Bagley, Holmes, yeah. But yeah, the
start off
starting
the
lineup.
season, it'll be Corey. I think it makes the most sense.
Actually, I think it's gonna be based on how they play in preseason. I legit think that's actually a
Oh,
pretty
there's
straight.
preseason. I forgot. Oh, you're right.
That's what I'm gonna go. My answer is whoever plays better in the preseason because it's the starting 3.
Right.
Like I think both those like Gusar, even if he plays well in the preseason, I honestly think he has lost trust with it for now.
Yeah, no, for yeah, people are still.
So I think Sar is going to be off the bench kind of regardless. But at the 3, I think Balonk and Corey both have enough rep that they can just kind of see who plays better in the preseason and go
Yeah,
from
I mean,
there.
this dude's in the Olympics now, and you saw he gained some weight as well, and he grew an extra inch.
Yep.
So
But Balonk's adding muscle mass. He's adding
yeah,
muscle mass. That's kind of cool. I don't want to say he's Giannis, but it's kind of Giannis came in the league really slim and he got buff and then he became
Bilal
insane.
keeps hitting the gym. I mean, who knows?
Hot take: I think Bilal's jumper is more mechanically sound than Giannis's is right
No, it
now.
is,
His like Bilal isn't a great shooter yet still, but
but
his jumper
mechanically,
mechanically like
it's gotten better.
and it's more. Giannis's jumper is still way more broken than
Like Bilal at
Bilal's.
the start of the season, it was kind of broken. Like he would like pause and then shoot, but
Mhm.
now like he can actually like
Okay, but
shoot.
the weird thing he low-key shot better when he had his bad mechanics than when he
Yeah, I don't
fixed
know
it.
what that was. Like that little like I don't know.
He fixed his form,
He
but he
fixed it, but then it
got
got
cold.
worse.
He got cold shooting, so I guess he
Yeah,
shot better being broken. But he's
whatever's
so young.
comfortable, I guess.
He's so young. He just the more he shoots, I think the more he consistent he'll get. But yeah, I guess that's our take on the 3 spot. It'll be a preseason battle. Do you want to just put on a you say Corey?
You
I'll
said
say
yeah. You say
Ball
Bilal.
just for the heck of argument, and then we'll can laugh at each other later. Okay, the 2.
Here's where it's fun.
I don't know where the 1 and 2 is going this year. Okay, let's just the both guard spots are flexible.
I don't
I
want
think
Poole to play shooting guard again,
okay.
bro.
I think okay because you can honestly also slot Blow and Corey at the 2, which also makes it kind of confusing. And okay, I'm mentioning Bub King not because I think Bub will start on day 1, even though I would think that'd be cool, but realistically, just based on how the NBA works, Bub's not starting day 1. But I think Bub will crack the starting lineup within a month or 2. I actually do legitimately believe that, but at least for the beginning of the year, like I'm not gonna say Bub's day 1 starter, but into the day 1 starters at the 1 and 2, it could either be Corey, Bilal, Poole, Brogdon. I saw someone on Twitter say, "Oh, Jared Butler." Like, no, it's not Jared Butler. It's not.
Nah. So,
So
uh,
I'll say those are your main guys. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not forgetting no one. So of those 4, where are your 2?
Brogdon.
The thing is, Brogdon is like a good guy, and he would actually not get mad coming off the bench. Poole would get more mad coming off the bench. So for the reason that Brogdon is like a good teammate, he he might just come off the bench for that reason. I legitimately believe that. So
Hmm.
like I think Brogdon as a 6 man is also a highly would be highly effective for him as well. Because also defensively,
But then
Poole
won't Bilal be the sixth?
you could put Bilal at the 2. Let's say Corey at the 3. You could put Bilal at the 2, Poole at the
Oh,
1.
that's so interesting.
No, because like, one also I wouldn't put Brogdon and Poole together because that would actually be an atrocious defensive lineup. Like we would not
You're
stop.
right. Yeah.
That would be god awful defensively. And I think off the bench, like Bub next to Brogdon could be fine. Or like if you mix things up, sometimes Bub and Bilal, or sometimes Bilal hanging out with Brogdon. I think that could work. I think if you mix up the rotations like that, that could really work. So for defensive reasons, I can honestly see Bilal at the 2 too if you want to go that
What did
route.
Bilal? What did he play last year? Was he
Bilal
the
played
three?
he played the 3 and the 2. He can play both pretty well. He's actually he's honestly a bit too big for the 2. At the same time, also
But
like I guess
for his size, he
I'm
could
kind of a
make up
sucker.
for it though.
Like I said, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for size. And like, oh, if Sar was like not didn't have the summer league controversy, Imagine Jonas, Sar, Kuzma, Bilal. How the size of their, like those four guys playing together would be insane. And I hope we get to see that at some point this year. I really hope Sar like starts after 2 weeks. I really hope that he can like just play
Two
well. He's a
two
second overall pick.
weeks.
Second overall pick is supposed to start really quick. It's a problem if he's not starting. Okay, if he's not starting the first
He
month,
is a problem. He's a
some really could be.
problem,
It
man.
could have been a fluke, right?
I'm sorry, me to see preseason for him. He's the most like I don't know.
Let's just say pull at the one, just because I feel like the team would go that direction. Just because he's like I said again, 170 million off the bench kind of hurts. Also, if you want to like, I know you're a pool stan, but for me, like I still would rather just get value in a trade for him. Hopefully, he can rebuild his value. He's not going to get traded if he's still a six man for 170 million. To get traded, he's got to start. So let's say pull at the one, then two in the three. You can play around. Actually, oh, okay, I'll put Corey at the two and then Bilal at the three if you want to go that route. I'd
Mm,
rather Corey the two than the
it
three.
can go either way.
I'd rather go. You want a good defender at the three. Like Corey is
Right.
taller than Corey is 6'6", 6'7". Whatever. Like I keep forgetting he's that tall, but
He's
like,
6'7".
or not 6'7". Is he like 6'6",
Dude,
right?
Corey is not 6'7". No way. I would be flabbergasted.
He's like taller than I. Every time I look up his height, he's taller than I remember. He's 6'6". So
Wow.
I
So than
always
I
think
thought.
he looks because he
He's
plays
like
like
wide.
he
He's like
plays
always like bent down.
because
You know what I'm saying?
how do I politely say this? He plays defense like how your high school basketball coach teaches you to play defense, like in the defensive slide position where you
Yeah.
theoretically can move. That's not really good NBA defense, but that's why he's never been really an effective defender. He plays defense smaller than he actually is. Like he looks like he's 6'3" or like slim when he plays.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but
He can't really like jump.
he's tall enough for the three. But look, you want a good defender at the three because when you play the three, there's LeBrons, there's KDs, there's Giannis. Those guys play the three usually. So I'd rather have Bilal on those guys than Corey, man. So I would rather have Corey at the two.
Corey at the two, Blah at the three, Kuz at the four, Jonas at the five.
Pull at the
That's
one.
so interesting.
I can't tell though. That offense could be okay at all. I feel like that offense could also be really stupidly broken in a bad way. I feel like there'd be no
Who
flow. The
Corey,
ball movement.
Bilal, Kuz, and
See,
Jonas.
what I don't like is Poole isn't a horrible point guard, but the ball movement would actually suck with that line because Bilal isn't
If
really a
he matures that way, which I think he will, then I could see it working out.
Come on, Poole or Bilal.
Yes.
Okay, Poole. Uh, uh,
Stop. Stop. You need some faith. He's not gonna be the same. He won't be the same. If he's the same, then you could like
you probably think Poole learned his lesson from last year.
yes, I think I 100% know he learned his lesson then
He's
from
gonna play
last
the
year.
same way. He's gonna shoot 20 shots a game, and he's gonna pray that he
No,
makes them.
no, he's not. He's not.
Can you at least admit? Okay, look. Even if you have faith in Poole, you can at least admit, like on paper, the ball movement with this lineup is kind of not it. Because Bilal is not like he can. I'm not saying he can't pass, but he's not like really a playmaker. Corey's not really a playmaker.
Kuz can
Um,
pass. Jonas
Kuz
can
can
pass.
pass. Jonas is, can somewhat for, but I still wouldn't say he's not like a Jokic or
Okay,
even
yeah.
or even
Yeah.
okay fine, but even like a Sar, even Sar is more passing. Like Jonas is still Jonas is a very traditional big. I wouldn't say he's like don't rely on him to be a good like assist guy or whatever. Like Kuzma, yeah, okay. Kuzma has shown flashes of being a facilitator, but also he's Kuzma.
They all upped his passing in France. I don't know.
Because that's just European basketball. The European basketball they play is not Wizards basketball. I'm sure the French coach teaches a way different system than the Wizards. That's. I guess Brogdon would help passing. Maybe brought him into but you can't play him next to Paul. I really don't believe you can play
No,
him
you
next.
can't play Brogdon with. Well, that doesn't sound right or look
I've
right.
I've been seeing a lot of people like I don't want to say names, but I've been seeing some pretty prominent Wizards like news media like guys, podcasters that aren't us say that they see like Brogdon and Poole being the one and two, and I could see it happening. Yes, but I also the defense there scares me. definitely I trust Brogdon. Even Brogdon isn't the greatest. Like he's also got someone to score for his point guard if you look at his history as well. So, which is why Bub Carrington is the answer. But give it
God.
give it a month. Give
Yeah,
it a
give
month.
him a month and he'll start. Like that's for sure. If they
Bub will
don't do
fix
that, I
everything.
don't know what Brian Keefe is doing then.
Bub will fix everything when he starts in a month.
I feel
Bub
like
will,
God, I
Bub
feel
will
like
fix everything.
he'll just fit in so well.
Bub fits him so well, but they're
He'll
not going to
fix all our problems.
like all the point guard problem. Point guard's been such an issue for so long, and like Bubba the one pulled the two. Like I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. A lot more than like Corey and pulled the one and two. There's no defense there really either, if I'm being honest. Like,
Dude, I don't know. Our defense is like, oh, should we worry about defense, especially in another like tanking season? Really, it's kind of just like, who cares about defense at this point?
I'm not saying we have to can. I know we're still tanking, but I think you should set up good habit. Like if you want to set up a good Wizards culture, set up the habit that you're not the team that gives up 130 points per game. Because if you set up that the culture right now, even when you're rebuilding, then your players are going to get used to that mentality, and that's just kind of no one's going to develop on defense. If we just, I don't know. I think we're at the point of the rebuild where we're still there's still a lot to be done, but I think there should be focuses on actually being competitive. Like, don't try to be too good. Don't get too many good sign too many good players yet. It's not time for that, but at least encourage more winning. Like obviously when you like last year, like trotting out Muscalas and stuff, like that's really like that's sabotage. That is sabotage right there. But no more sabotage. Like set up the team where they're still not great, but give them pieces where they can at least play nice. Because the young guys they need to learn how to play winning basketball. If they play no defense, they're never going to learn winning basketball, and Bilal will never become a star. I legitimately believe that.
Wow, it's like you had that statement ready. It's like you knew I was gonna say defense will. Oh my goodness, you actually just cooked me there. You're right though. The way you explained that, dude. I don't. Who can defend Bilal? Kuz maybe Jonas.
We'll at least be able to rebound the ball. That's something we couldn't do last year. Jonas
Keyshawn
will
can Loki guard. Sar has
defend
defense.
at
Oh,
the
that
very
means you gotta like combine Sar in the starting lineup then, because if you want more,
See, it would have been simpler if
I
Sar
don't
was
know.
actually good during summer league. This would have all
Yeah,
been
like he would have been like an instant start, but then after his whatever nonsense,
over 16, whatever,
hmm.
15. Yeah. So weird. Well, we gotta lock something in for the sake of the content.
Pool point guard. I think we should just stick with what we had.
Pull
Pool,
point guard
Bilal,
Jonas.
Corey, Kuz, Jonas.
Yeah, I see that, and it's a very last year's Wizards lineup of a bit plus
It's
Jonas,
just
but
Jonas. That's like that's the only difference.
it's last year's team
It's
plus
just
Jonas.
Jonas ain't Gafford though, so
Jonas can't do the same lobs that Gaffer did, but he'll grab more rebounds and not get like
yeah,
shoved
Jonas
around.
won't get bullied, bro. Jonas is the bully.
Jonas is Jonas is getting old, but he still has a little bully left in him. Well, he's actually really good. He was a good teammate, but on the court, he has that bully in him. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm kind of excited to see Jonas. I kind of forgot what it's like having a center. Like I
Yeah,
know,
like a intimidating center.
like I know he's very old school, like so old school for what the NBA has become. He's a throwback, but I don't know. Like I said, for the sake of setting up like a culture of actually like knowing how to play defense, I'm excited to see Jonas. In terms of the bench, we can divide into like who do you think is the main guys coming off the bench? Obviously,
If
Bub. I think
Bilal doesn't start, then Bilal.
okay, let's lock in our starter. Let's lock in
Okay, so those are okay.
our pool below a pool Corey
So then
Walker,
Bub,
Brogdon,
Brogdon, maybe Sar.
Butler. Butler's gonna get minutes because
Oh yeah.
okay, so George Sar.
Oh George is. Oh my, I don't know.
So those are like four guys right there. So Bub. NBA is all about 9-man rotations next year. I'm open to doing a 10-man rotation next year. That's because there's so many guys I feel like need minutes just to develop. So I think they should do a 10-man rotation.
Can Brian Keefe handle all that?
Trying to keep handling
You're forgetting me of Brian Keefe, buddy.
We
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
we still don't know if he's good or bad.
We don't know.
But let's say 10-man rotation because like I said, that's actually a controversial opinion for a lot of NBA circles right now because people think, oh, 9-man rotations make more sense just based on then everyone kind of gets 20 minutes. But I'm okay if some guys get 15 or 10 in a 5 man rotation. Just I think 5 guys will come off the bench at least to start the first few months of the year. So, like I said, so we have Bub,
Bub,
Brogdon. Let's say
Brogdon,
Butler,
Butler, Sar,
George,
Keyshawn.
George. But then what about Bagley?
Oh,
Does Bagley just get
yeah,
a team?
Jonas can't play the whole game.
So I guess we'll get. So do you want either Bagley? I want Bagley to play with Rashawn. I don't want Rashawn
Yeah,
to play.
yeah, I want Bagley over
I,
Rashawn.
I, I want only want Rashawn to play unless there's injuries or like just Bagley isn't working or something like that. But
Play
otherwise,
Rashawn in the fourth. I don't care, but um,
at least initially, like I think I'd rather Bagley as the backup five. So I guess Sarr as well could also be the backup five, and then Bagley.
I don't know.
But yeah, I
Just
honestly, I can honestly see, I can see George not getting playing time the first 2 weeks of the season.
maybe like garbage time.
I don't like that, but I can honestly see. I don't think this team is not good enough to be doing stuff like that. But like if you think about it in the past, like we had times like Corey. Corey didn't get any playing time his first week at all, like 0 minutes. I can see that happening to George, and I wouldn't like that, but I could see it happening just because there's too many bodies. Honestly, give Butler zero. As much I do like him. I know the front. You know Keefe. Keefe is going to give Butler minutes day one. I wouldn't mind giving Butler 0 minutes to start, but I feel like he's going to get minutes. Just know this is how I know this team works. Um, is there anyone else in the mix? I mean, Vucevic is on the 2 way, so he'll come and go. I don't see if you're a 2 way, you're not playing day one. Um, Champagne 2 way, once again, you're not playing day one.
Funk.
Funk 2 way,
Funk.
Funk 2 way, you're not playing day
Yeah.
one. Gil,
Gil is just I don't know.
Gil's not gonna play for the first like 3 weeks.
Gil just won't play, bro. Gil won't play.
Gil starts. Gil's no.
Because we got Rashawn now. When is he gonna come in?
Gil plays the 4 as well. Okay,
Did
hear me
he?
out.
He played
Yeah,
center like most of the time.
it's because we had no centers last year.
Yeah, but we have. Oh, so he can play the four. You're right.
Well, hear me out. I'm not saying this is a good thing, but per Wizards like history, Gil starts like 5 random games every year. That's probably gonna happen again this year for no reason. Gil's gonna start 5 games for no reason.
But that's when like the whole roster would sit. That's what it took for Gil to start.
Injuries or yeah, just
Yeah,
trade.
literally that. Like that was like the last month of the
I
season.
mean, look, Jonas is older, so he's not. Jonas is not playing 82 games. Yeah, you got to take that into account. He's not playing all 82.
All right, Bagley.
Bagley got hurt a lot last year.
Womp womp. I don't want Rashawn to. Please, please. I don't. Or Sar. I don't.
Rashawn was okay too. Okay, like, yeah, Sar will he'll get opportunities from eventual Jonas and Bagley entries, and I think just for the heck of it, Sar will start. Sar's going to start quicker than you think. You do not want him sitting on the bench for even half a season.
Ah, dude. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's not a good
Yeah.
look. You kind of as long as he doesn't do 0 for 15, 16 in the
He's
NBA.
already not a good look, man. It's
Look, I think it's I don't know what's the best way to go about it, but once Sar starts blocking NBA guys, I think that'll help his rep a little bit. The offense is a work; it'll take time, but if you can just keep it to like, if Sar's first year is like a 10 point per game scorer, I'll be fine.
oh
With
yeah, I'll
it.
be happy with that.
That's really what I project for him at this current point. And let's say year two, I hope it bump to like 15. Is what I
Should
would
we
like.
do stats predictions or not? Is that too far?
That's
No, I don't even like.
stat predictions are
That's
tricky.
insane.
We
Yeah.
can do some. I mean,
I
yeah, I
mean,
think Sar's interesting. I'm gonna say 10 points per game and 6 rebounds
six or
per game.
yeah, I was about to say that.
And
Maybe
then
two blocks a
I
game.
don't two. I don't think he's gonna play. He's not gonna start enough to get to. I could also see that would be like his calling card for his like. Look at me, I'm the 2 blocks per game guy. But once again, at 2 blocks per game, you're in like kind of defensive player of the year territory.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what did Gafford? I think Gafford kind of got close to that, but what did Gafford average for blocks per game back in his? He was really good his final season here with blocks. If I remember, that is not Daniel Gafford. That is Daniel Gafford. Okay, Gafford is a 2 blocks per game kind of. Okay, I can say 2 for Sar. I can say 2 for. Let's go ahead. Yeah, sure. I don't want to guess his shooting
Nah,
percentages.
we're not. No, we're not doing percentages. That's insane.
I'm
Um,
I'm gonna say 25% from three, and then 40% from the field.
oh, those numbers just hurt. It's like a stab to the chest for that. But it's
Yeah,
Star though. It's not Steph Curry.
it was Jordan Poole was like that for the first like 2 3 months of the last season.
Yeah, that's Jordan Poole. All right, that's different.
Jordan, what do you think Poole's averaging? Actually, that's a wonderful question. What is Poole averaging next year? I don't know. I don't know.
14.
Well, he averaged 17 last year,
Yeah,
but
but with all these guys now,
if Poole's matured, he should take less shots next year. I don't. You think he has? I don't think he has.
he'll average 14 a game.
That's a drop off though.
Well, yeah, he's not going to be playing as much anymore.
He's still gonna get 30 minutes until he starts shooting horrible again. He will get 30 minutes for at least the first three couple of weeks. He will.
Fine, 15.
I think he's gonna
I
be
don't think
like.
he'll go back up to 17.
I think it will average the same 15 to 17 he did last year. I think it's gonna be the same range. I think he's gonna play the exact same he played last year. And you're not gonna know how to feel about him.
Oh my god, why?
This time a year ago, people were legit betting that he would be like a 25 point per game score because the Wizards, oh, they're so bad.
That's
Like he'll
because
get
he's coming off a championship.
no, but remember,
Uh,
no, he wasn't coming out not that year
it was the second year where he got his contract and then he fell off. Blah blah
because
blah blah. I mean, he
remember
was still decent that year though.
his last year in Golden State. No, no, no. After the Draymond punch, he was not good in Golden State. He averaged 20, but it was a really bad 20 points per game, like super bad efficiency. And what do you know? He still wasn't efficient in DC, if not worse. So
Whoa, all right, he will be now.
that's
Bro, give the man time.
give him a year.
Yeah, he had his. He'll be better.
What did you have to adjust to, man? I mean, I know Kuzma's kind of a ball hog, but like, it's not that crazy of an
What is
adjustment.
Kuzma gonna do, bro? Why is
I think Kuzma 23
16?
20.
Okay, I was not. I didn't say 16. You didn't hear me.
You think Kuzma's gonna fall off?
No, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's not.
I
I
think
hope he. I really pray he doesn't ball hog anymore.
he'll still get the most
Well,
touches.
yeah, but like
I mean, last year he averaged 20. He averaged 22 last year. I don't think his touches are gonna go down that much because
20.
I think he's gonna get 23 traded the trade deadline. That's gonna happen. 23 points per game traded the trade deadline.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna score. I don't know. I just feel like he's gonna score. Like Kuzma's been really bad from three the last like year and a half for some reason, and I feel like for some reason I feel like he's still not gonna be amazing, but he's gonna like not be as garbage from three next year just because you can only be garbage from three for so long. So I don't know. I have faith that Kuz could score 23, especially because like I know Bilal would take a step up, but I feel like Bilal is still not like that commanding of an offensive presence yet. And,
No,
and,
definitely.
and you yeah, and like Corey is I don't even understand. I don't know. I don't understand how Corey offense works sometimes. The way he just touches the ball for a lot for like 3 minutes straight, and then never touches the ball for the rest of the quarter. That's kind of how Corey's touches work. Paul, you believe will become humble, so okay, that's if you believe that, then Kuzma will still get touches. Jonas is a center, so he'll just hang out in the paint and wait for rebounds. So yeah, I think Kuzma will still get no touches to get 23 points per game. Who else you want to guess points? I guess below. What do you think below? Oh, that's a. I'm gonna say
8 points per game. That's really low.
he averaged
But
8 last year.
I know, but
I'm gonna go.
yeah.
I'm gonna go 12.
Um.
If he doesn't have if he doesn't average 12, then he's not. He's never gonna become a star. I'm being real. If you average 8 points per game 2 straight years in a row, I don't. I think we're gonna realize he's a defensive specialist. He's never gonna become
That's
that
what
great.
we expected from him, though. Like you can't expect him to be
But
like
I think there's a small realistically, yeah, he's probably more of a defensive specialist. But like, there's a small part of me that's like, I think he could be an Ananobi in a best case world, and I would like that's an optimist
eight
in
to
me.
10, 8 to 10 points,
11 and a half. I'll give you 11 and a half
11 and a
from
half. Fine.
I think
Um,
If you want to be
9 to
optimistic,
11.
if you want to be optimistic about Poole, be optimistic about Bilal because he can score
No,
11.
but like he's not that guy though.
Maybe playing in France is like taught him, like the Olympics have taught him
Look
something.
at
I
him.
don't know.
Look at his stats in France. It's not
The
he,
French team is good.
without him when he plays like what 2 minutes.
He was good in like
They
Eurobasket or
have
whatever.
Victor Wembanyama. Goodness. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Bilal isn't.
But
Bilal doesn't play that much for the French, like for the French team.
yeah,
Let's
I'm
be real.
sticking. I'm sticking with 11. All right, Bub. Bub, 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 Bub Hub. I hope that nickname doesn't. I don't like Bub Hub as a nickname. I do not like that. I'm gonna go.
How much is he gonna play?
That's the thing. Honestly, as a starter, I think he'd be a 14 point per game guy.
That's
But
believable.
like just based on how he's not gonna play
Off the
as
bench, maybe like
I'm gonna go 10,
10.
10 and a half.
Okay, yeah.
10. Just based on also like Wizards history, like all your Tyus averaged 12. What did Monte average before Tyus? Didn't Monte also average 12? I swear Monte averaged 12 as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
So let's say like Bub doesn't start the whole season, but he ramps it up. I think Bub is gonna have an awesome last month of the year, and I think he's gonna get 10 and a half points per game.
Yeah, yeah, keep
So
it at that. That's pretty
I
good.
think and for a bench player, I think he's gonna have a really sneaky like 5 assists per game off the bench. I think it's gonna be a really sneaky, and people are gonna notice that and be like, "Whoa!" Add 4.5 rebounds to that. That's also a random prediction, but
Oh, the
add.
rebounds as well.
I just think he's gonna be more of a triple double threat than people realize, especially prime Bub. I know he's
Prime
19.
Bob. Oh my goodness. This is who hasn't played an NBA game yet.
Look, man, I was predicting his draft stock 3 months ago, and now I'm gonna predict his whole career.
I go for it.
I think he's gonna be more of a triple double threat than people realize. But yeah, I think 10.5 is good for Bub. All right, we're gonna have to start giving some people some lower points per games though.
Keyshawn like
Or
6,
I'm gonna go
7, 8,
Keyshawn 6. I don't see.
6,
I don't see him going more. I could also see him being like 5. I know that's
5
kind
or
of harsh.
6. Yeah.
It's based on summer league. He could barely score 6 in summer league.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go.
Brogdon ish.
Brogdon's weird. Brogdon's weird. Just based on I don't know because Brogdon has had injury issues the last 2 years. He was an all star and he averaged like 17, 18, I remember, but I don't know what he's gonna average these days. He wasn't bad in Portland. He had a couple like random 30-point games in Portland, but last year was 15.7. This year, let's say 12.
Yeah, I was about to say 12.
12. I'm gonna go 12. Yeah. I think he could prove us wrong, but I'm gonna go 12 for Brogdon.
Okay.
Um
Alex
Taylor
Starr.
we did sorry,
Oh,
remember the
we already
10.
did Starr.
Yeah. Taylor Funk, 2.5 points per game. All right.
Okay, sure.
Um, Gil, 4.1 points per game. That's my comp.
Yeah, I guess if he, I don't know.
Jared Butler, 5.5 points per game is my guess.
Marvin Bagley,
7 points per
eight,
game.
7 to 8 points per game.
For Sean. I
Bro,
don't he was good like 2 years ago. Good bench center 2 years for the
6,
Kings.
maybe more than 6.
But also I could see less.
Yeah,
I don't see a path to playing time. For him right now.
maybe like
4.
6. I'm sticking with 6.
Okay. We're going to give everyone a points per game prediction.
I
Are we,
think
are we
the,
forgetting something important? I don't think so. Oh, Jonas. Oh, do we do
no,
Jonas?
we
No,
did Jonas.
I was like, yeah, like 10 and 8. Or, yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think it's everyone important ish at least. You did Taylor Funk, which was you did Taylor Funk, but not Jules Bernard or Vucevic. That's crazy.
Oh, Vucevic, actually, because people are still way too high on.
7.
He averaged 7 or 8 last year, but also it was an insanely small sample size. Like,
Yeah,
so
he
I don't,
played
I
like
don't,
I didn't play that many games.
so I don't count his 8 points per game from last year. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little pessimist here and say 5 for Vooch.
Okay.
Eh,
Yeah, depends how much he plays. I don't know.
do you, let's save win total for another episode. Let's save
Win
that for.
total. We can
Actually,
just spit one out for now.
the schedule's not even out. The schedule's. Oh, is it? No, it's
No, no,
not.
no. We can spit
Yeah,
one out though, just for like fun. 22.
that's what the Vegas line is. You just copied the Vegas line. The over under
What's
is on 22. It's
really?
22 and a half.
Oh, I didn't even
MGM,
know that.
I think MGM has them at 22 and a half right now.
That's yeah.
So
I
you
have
just
them
put you just
lower or like 22 max, nothing
see
higher.
you see how the under.
I have the under. I'm not
I
raising my hopes again for this team, man. I'm not raising my hopes again.
I know a 25 win team when I see one. This is a
All
20.
right,
This is a 25 win team.
25 wins. Okay.
I'm a some. If I were betting, I'd actually probably bet the under. But for the sake of being a fan, I'll say 20 over, but barely over.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we still want like Ace Bailey or whatever. What's his fate? Yeah, Flag.
Ace Flag or Ace Bailey.
Or there's another guy. I don't remember his name, but mainly those two would be awesome. And we're
Flag
set.
played Flag played well for the Team USA B
Yeah,
team.
no, he was actually like
The B team when they
good.
played against the A team, yeah.
Yeah,
He's already a cooked Beal, so
yeah. Goodness, this dude's already cooking NBA players without playing a game in college. I'm excited to see what he does in Duke. I'm actually intrigued.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna.
I hate Duke so much. They're so
I'm not.
annoying. Oh my gosh, I
All
hate
they do
Duke
is
so.
hurt people, and
God, bro.
they just like make TikToks and hurt people.
Jared McCain is
Name
such a kind soul.
last year I went to college and I don't know whatever that song is that he always does.
Whatever
Come on,
Tansy does, I don't know.
Jared McCain is my favorite Duke prospect the last couple of years. Like, I don't hate Tatum. I guess Bagley is Bagley.
Bagley
I,
just
I
raps, bro. That's what he's been doing.
Tyus. I don't know why I'm naming it like these guys. I'm not naming Zion. Like, well, actually, I don't like Zion. There you go. I don't like him. I don't like Zion. So I don't like Grayson Allen for obvious reasons. I never liked JJ Redick even when he played. Um, what are some other Duke guys that I should mention? I'm definitely forgetting some that I should be, but point is, I don't know. Even after Coach K like retired, I just never been. I just don't like Duke culture. I like Duke's culture, but not Duke culture. Key difference, but yeah, it'll be exciting to watch for sure. And I think college basketball is gonna be way more interesting this year than last year because last year, as you saw, the draft was weaker. That's why women's March Madness had more ratings than men's March Madness last year. But Flag will definitely raise the star power in college basketball this year. So I guess it'll be fun to watch. But I want Flag to play well, but I still want Duke to lose. So
This dude hates everything, man. Goodness.
no, I like stuff. I like.
You like Bub?
I like you. I think UConn's cool. They're a winning program. I think you. I'd rather see UConn win than
Rutgers
Duke.
is winning it all, man.
Well, okay, I know Rutgers has an insane recruiting class, but
Rutgers is winning it all.
it's insane recruiting class, but also Rutgers. I don't trust them. They haven't done
What
anything.
did Rutgers?
No, I don't hate them. No. This is not. I don't hate them, but I'm just saying based on they're unlucky. They're an unlucky team. Like basketball, football, the last few years, like they always find a way to lose when it matters. So I don't. I feel like they'll make the tournament, but like I feel like they're gonna get bounced like the round of 16 or something. Even though they have the insane recruiting class, but round of 16 is not a bad run.
All right, whatever you say.
I find you know what, let's go for it. Who's winning the championship college basketball next year?
Go Duke.
Ew, ew, ew. I don't want to say Duke is a good favorite. I'm not gonna say Duke because ew. Kentucky has a new coach who I think is funny, but I don't think they're gonna win. I mean, UConn gave Dan Hurley like $1 billion to come
Yeah,
back,
that's actually insane.
so he
Crazy
better
deal.
be. they better make the final four if they're paying him that much at the very least. Um, Dark Horse, I need to pay a little more attention. Like some of the other schools I've typically done well, like your Houston's. I don't think Houston the title necessarily, but they've been good historically recently. So I don't know. For now, I'm just gonna say UConn or Duke or Houston. That's what I'm gonna say right now. For now,
Yeah, those are like the three main. Like they'll be there. They'll contend.
yeah. There's some Dark Horse, Creighton, crazy.
Mm, JMU.
You dude.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
think
the dark horse, buddy.
no. I think no. We're making Jamie's making the tournament again next year. I'm legitimately their transfer class insane hall, and I still have them. How far they'll go this year? I don't know. We'll see, but they'll at least be a tournament team. So how about your VCU Rams?
Nah, we gave
No,
away our two best guys. Were cooked. That's it. Done for. I don't know why they did that. Oh well. Guess the Rams are rebuilding as well.
drop in the comments your college team, and then we'll dox you based on what college you get. All right, back. Let's end on a Wizards note before anything. Would you get? I'm gonna end with this question. Would you be mad if this team ends up being like the sixth or seventh pick and like you
Yeah.
see?
What do you mean? No, I'll be happy. Yes, I'll be
No, no,
mad. What?
hear me out. But it's because like Bilal became too good and stuff like that. That's why
No,
they got.
I'm too mad. No, I don't care. Be good the next season. This is not the season to be good. Wait one
But
more
like,
season to be good.
Bilal can't stop himself from being good. Then like, why would you be mad at that?
Show off later, man.
I'd be okay only if like let's say a Bilal or like Sar proves themselves. Then I'd be like, okay, sixth, seventh pick, eighth pick, whatever, fine.
Give me top five.
Actually draft class is gonna be better.
Yeah, give me top five. I'd
Uh,
rather see a top five pick than Bilal's breakout season.
Dang, then what's the point? You're gonna say that every year. You're gonna say every
No,
year.
one more year, just one more, and then
And they have what happens when they're not good after one more year?
all right. Well, Firewall Dawkins.
How about this? Would you be mad if Brogdon and Jonas are still on the team after the trade deadline?
Ugh. Yeah. I what I
I wouldn't get it. Yeah, I would
what's
probably.
the point of keeping him?
Jonas is in his 30s. Brogdon is injury history entering his 30s. Yeah, I don't see. If they're not traded, to that just means it's another like tie situation where just nobody really gave you anything interesting. So I think ideally, yeah, I would prefer them. Like definitely, I'm cool with them getting minutes for the starters. Like go ahead, get their trade value up, give them minutes. Like I want young guys to get minutes, but I get it, so that's fine. If Keyshawn doesn't get minutes initially, that's fine, I guess. Like for the sake of trade value for some other guys, but yeah, we'll have some problems to talk about on this podcast by the trade deadline if it ends up being that all the veterans are still on this team. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good. Yeah, we got our predictions. I think our starting lineup predictions are going to be pretty close to what the actual are because hashtag so wizards would definitely just have Poole, Corey, Bolts. The guys they know well for that they would just make them start. Hashtag so wizards.
Logically, that makes sense to do.
Logically, well, it also doesn't make sense, but also it does. And that's hashtag so wizards. All right. Anything else you want to add about just the lineups or the team or just any of the roster? Do you want to see any other roster moves? I don't know. Who's left? Is anyone else left to sign that you would want?
I saw like small, super tiny D'Angelo Russell rumors. I'm like,
What would we trade?
get him off my team.
What would you trade for that? What
I don't know. I
like
don't know.
LeBron doesn't want a
Like I
Brogdon.
saw like a super slight Wizards might be interested in D'Lo. I'm like, no, we don't want it. Nah. That's pretty much it though. That's all I saw.
Who's still left? I don't really need anything. I think we're
Like right
fine.
now, just don't do too
I think
much to the point where
yeah.
it's too much to handle, especially for Keefe. Like just keep it the way it is right now.
Like I'm looking at like who's you're telling me you don't want Oliver Sarr?
No, I'm all right. 0 for 16.
Um, Davis Bertans is out there.
Oh, he's out there? Dang.
Yeah, good. They waved him.
Oh, yeah,
You
right.
saw the interview,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I saw the interview.
They're like, it was the camera so close to his face, and they're like, "Are you upset you got cut?" And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
um, Gallinari's okay. Okay, I'm being naming silly guys, but for real, in terms of like interesting guys that are actually left, Precious Achua, I kind of like, but I don't. At this point, there's not a space for him. I don't
Yeah,
care.
we don't need him.
Mm, JT Thor, South Sudan played pretty well.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't mind.
JT Tor, he low-key cooked us in the Hornets game that I went to. I'm not gonna lie.
He's
Another
cooked
tall
the
guy.
Wizards. He's cooked the Wizards, and he cooked Team USA. So I mean, do you want JT Thor?
How much is he worth?
If he's still a free agent, he's like a minimum contract guy still.
If we're lacking in defense, sure. JT Thor for 3.
Why not? I don't think. I guess I don't think anything is gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind JT Thor
Yeah,
if I was
make
a
him
if I was a
ours.
GM. If I was a GM, I'd give him a preseason offer. Yeah. Um, I don't know how. Wait, apparently, according to Hoopswire, Thanasis is technically a free agent right now.
Are you serious?
You want
Oh,
Thanasis?
I'm all right. The Nasus and Anthony Gill on the same team, bro.
The two biggest cheerleaders. Mm, yeah, there isn't really anyone. I don't think is Andrew Funk related to Taylor Funk.
Probably Funk is not that like it's not that uncommon.
Andrew Funk, Taylor Funk. This is a good podcast. This is why people tune to our podcast. Is for this. This crap. No, I don't think they're related. They're just two funks. Um, I'm a huge Victor Oladipo fan, but yeah, I don't think at this point. I
Yeah,
don't
at
think
this point,
nobody's signing him at this point. Lonnie Walker. No, we don't need another guard. Yeah, I think I would leave
JT
the.
Thor is like the most random, like reasonable random signing. I would not mind it, but other than that, we don't need Precious Achua and all that.
Oh, Ish Smith's available.
Bring him back.
One more
Bring
time.
back Ish one more time. Goodness.
Oh, Markel Fultz is available, but we have no need for him.
Yeah.
Markel's I'm nice. I
Yeah,
like
he's
Markel,
cool.
but we don't need him. But we don't need him. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Leave the roster as it is. There's no space. We got to cut people too. So I think when we get closer to preseason, we'll discuss roster cuts. But
It's pretty clear who's gone.
yeah, but like you never know. Like maybe Gil would actually get cut, and that'd be insane.
That'll actually be so sad.
Maybe Jules gets cut. Maybe Jules stays. There's a little bit of things that could happen. I don't know if you care about what happens.
Eugene's
Jules,
a clear cut. If he stays, I'm
yeah,
actually gonna be like, let's go.
yeah. Eugene's a clear cut, but if you care about Jules Bernard, I don't know. He may or may not stay, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that's a good wrap on our today's episode. Thank you again, as always, for joining. Raj is. I know our summer schedule's been kind of lacking, but doing our best to get some more videos out there, and with the little bit of Wizards rumors out there, we're trying to eat that up and give it out to you guys in a good podcasting format. And Raj is going on a cruise, so say about it. And he's going to be gone for a few weeks. So anything crazy happens in the next few weeks, it'll be just me. But I'll make sure to give you guys the best insight I can. Yeah, as always, we thank you for joining us on YouTube, Spotify. Please give us. I don't want to be the guy that begs for subscribers and ratings, but at the very least, like we appreciate seeing Spotify ratings. Let us know how you guys are liking the show. We're open to comments for improvement, but just all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we'd love to see engagement in the comments and whatnot. Yeah, check us out on the Instagrams and the TikToks and all the stuff down
Whatever
below.
is, yeah.
And check out my Twitter above, Raj's Twitter above him. And yeah, that's a wrap on this episode. Let's get into fun. Let's keep on shooting those
DC
threes. JT Thor.
JT Thor.